Hello, 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 and welcome everybody. So let's wait for everybody to get in. We are going to be watching the Bryan Kohberger scheduling hearing live. It starts in about 10 minutes. Hopefully, Boise, Idaho is a little quicker with starting their court cases than Moscow was. I do have it up on my screen. Let me just get it up for you guys. Okay, let me stop sharing this. I will get it up on my screen here for you guys. All right, there we go. Okay, let me just put so let me make it, I guess I can do this for now. Well, wait, there. Now what happened? Let me just get this set up here. Whoops. All right. I want myself on there. How do I do it? Hang on. There we go. All right. So we will be starting soon, you guys. About 10 minutes. It's about to start. Let me give some shout outs while we are waiting. Yes, please keep Missy in your prayer. She is in the direct line of this hurricane. She's one of our mods here. She is in Tallahassee. So let's keep her in our prayers. Thank you. Jura 11, nice to see you. Nana, Alicia, Birdbrain. Yeah, let's hope they don't move the trial date. Long time no see. Hello, 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 Babs. Sandra Lee, hello, hello. Hello and welcome, everybody. So this will be starting. You see I've got it up on the screen. As soon as it starts, you will see it here. We are going to find out, you guys, if, hello, Git, hello, hello, hello. We're going to see also if the prosecutors have been changed. We know there's a new judge, there's a new court venue. I'm anxious to see how this judge is going to rule the roost. Hopefully he is one that puts his foot down, doesn't take any crap from either side. Let's be fair. From either side, let's get this going. I do think that the date could be moved. I'm praying and hoping it's not, but we will have to wait and see. Hello, K. Mitch. I've been following you guys. I just got back from my therapy. They got me doing therapy for my back in a last ditch effort to try and dodge having to have this surgery just yet. But anyway, so I rushed back and whatever. But we're going to find out a lot today in this hearing, you guys. What do you guys think is going to happen? Do you think the trial date's going to be moved? If there's new prosecutors on the case, I can almost guarantee you that the date's going to be moved because they're going to want extra time to get ready for it. What do you guys think? Let me know. Nana doesn't think so. And Anna doesn't think so. Good to see you, K. Mitch. Git thinks it's going to be moved. I got my trusty pad of paper here to write down K. Mitch thinks probably. Alicia says, I don't know what to think. It's Idaho, right? Yes, I'm there with you, Alicia. Birdbrain says, I think we'll move date that their docket might not coincide. Well, I do think if it's just a docket issue, they would facilitate a death penalty case. Other cases would be taking a back seat to this. Sandra Lee says, hope not, but think it's a great chance of it being moved. It's already moved. I get what you're saying. Okay, the actual court date. Yeah, the trial date. It's slated right now, you guys, for June 2nd, 2025 to start. We're going to see, like, what's this judge going to do? I really hope he rules with an iron fist. I really do. Juror 11 in the house. I have my problems up here in Idaho with my own case. It's a nightmare. Oh, I can imagine. Juror 11 in the house. Sandra Lee in the house. Bird Brain in the house. Alicia, K. Mitch, Git, and Nana. Good to see everybody. Stuck in a meeting right nearby. I'm here. I'm telling you, I've never seen somebody so dedicated to a trial. When we were going through our last trial that we went through, Shy was at work, but she was right here. It was funny. Hello, Debbie. Good to see you. Welcome everybody coming in. Hopefully, Boise, Idaho does start on time. Let's hope and pray. Stupid meeting. Oh, gosh. Don't you hate when that happens? And I'm in the middle of trying to eat my dinner too as I'm doing this. So if I mute myself, don't think that I've done it by accident. You guys don't need to hear me chewing. It's been a rough afternoon so far, believe me. Alicia says, I literally got lost in my own case. My victim coordinator quit in the middle of it. Oh my God. Wow. That's crazy. That is crazy. I'm anxious too to see, like, a lot of people. I made the comment that Bryan Kohberger, in all this pretrial stuff, he should not be wearing street clothes. Like, he's not in front of a jury or nothing yet. He should be wearing street clothes, and it's a security issue. If he was to bolt out of the courtroom and take off running, it's easier to spot somebody in orange than it is blending in with everybody else, right? So I do wonder if this judge is going to make him wear jail clothes. There she is. There's my sister from a different mister. Anxious to see. I'm really anxious to see if Bill Thompson and Ashley Jennings is going to be there. Shy says, not supposed to have your phones, but people's phones keep going off. 4 minutes, you guys. 4 minutes. Let's see if Boise is tardy, like Moscow was. I'm excited, you guys. I'm really excited. I hope this judge, and I'm not just saying ruling with an iron fist against the defense, I'm saying both. Like, stop monkey farting around. Let's get this show on the road. And there's a lot of yous that brought up that they moved it until next summer because of college, right? Of the students being in class and this and that. Well, now that it's moved to Boise, there's no need to move it out that far. So I do believe that this judge will make his own scheduling hearing, and I'm hoping if the date is moved, it's moved sooner. I really do. Because like I said, the only reason it was moved out so far was to accommodate the college students. Okay. Wolf down dinner. Two minutes and counting. Okay, let me just stop for a second here, you guys, so I can make sure that I've got everything up here the way I want it. Okay, let's bring that back up. All right, there we go. So it should be, whoops, full screen. There we go. So once it starts, you guys, I will go for a full screen. Gail, thank you so much for your donation. I appreciate it. It makes me want to go and do more lives like this and rush home to get here in time, so to bring it to you guys. And it really helps keep the channel going. So thank you, Gail M, so much. I do have another. Let me just check and see if there's any updates over here on how I still call it Twitter. So Brian Enton is tweeting. He's at the courthouse, and he says, first Bryan Kohberger hearing in Boise is set to start 2 p.m. local, 4 p.m. Eastern. He says that Boise, Idaho is so clean. Okay, so here we go, you guys. Once it starts up, you guys, make sure that you can hear it. And he is wearing his suit. Once they start talking, can you guys hear it? Let me crank it up. Put a 1 in the chat, please, if you can hear it.
All right. Good afternoon. This is State v. Kohberger. I want to go over the appearances this afternoon on behalf of the state. Would state attorneys please represent themselves for the record?
Thank you, Your Honor. My name is Bill Thompson. I'm the Latah County Prosecutor. This is Ashley Jennings. She's my senior deputy. And then we have Mr. Nye and Ms. Beatty from the Attorney General's office. And then we have victim support staff with us.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Defense?
Ann Taylor, attorney for Bryan Kohberger, Elisa Massa, and Jay Logston, counsel for Mr. Kohberger as well.
Thank you. All right. Like to tell you I'm happy to be here, but why start with an untruth? I am accepting of my responsibility to be here. I want to go over with you some expectations of mine, given that I don't think any of you, other than Ms. Massoth, have appeared in front of me before. When you file memorandums of law, briefs, etc., please provide a Word copy by email to my staff attorney. After today's hearing, you may get that from staff here today. Today, I know there was an issue that was brought up with respect to Mr. Kohberger's attire for today. I did issue an order yesterday permitting him to appear in civilian clothes for this hearing only. That is a matter in terms of future hearings that we will take up in a closed hearing the day of, but in advance of whatever our next hearing date will be. My intention will be that Mr. Kohberger will not be present for that hearing because part of what we will be discussing are security measures. And I expect to hear from the transport deputies and the bailiffs regarding security issues that they want to address or that I have questions for them about so that I can make an appropriate ruling in terms of his appearance here, but weighing that not just against, of course, his rights, but also against the needs of security in this case. I do expect, as it probably will come to no surprise to you, for you all to get along. I understand the stakes in this case are as high as they can possibly be in any case, but you are professionals. You have taken oaths, both as of officers within your jurisdictions, but also as attorneys before this bar. So I expect at all times for you to remain civil to one another, that you not engage in personal attacks, ad hominem attacks, that you not engage in theatrics, not misstate the facts or the law to the court, and that when you cite arguments in your briefs, if there is contradictory precedent, I expect to see that. I appreciate in advance what should go without saying that I've just said in terms of your responsibilities. But again, I just want to highlight that because I understand when the stakes are high, sometimes victory seems to be the objective when our first objective is to conform to the oaths that we've taken as members of the bar, as officers of this court. All right. I do have some matters with respect to scheduling that I want to go over today, but before I do that, I'd like to hear from you with respect to matters that you either need to make me aware of or want to make me aware of. The other thing before I do that, though, I do know that Judge had entered a non-dissemination order. That still remains in place. And unless I, for some reason, remove that order, it will stay in place, and I expect it to be religiously adhered to by all parties, counsel, victims, counsel for the victims, and I will not tolerate violations of that. Likewise, I know that much of the evidence in this case has been subject to orders sealing under that dissemination order or otherwise have been sealed by the court. I likewise expect everyone that has access to that information, whether it's sealed documents or information in sealed hearings or the information itself in the documents, to adhere to the confidentiality expected as it relates to those. Okay, that's my one and only lecture for you for the remainder of this case. With that, let me hear from you. We'll start with counsel for the state.
Your Honor, I don't know that we have specific questions we want to propose today. We're looking forward to hearing the scheduling. I think that's going to drive for us, particularly the distance involved, any questions that we may have. I appreciate what you've already mentioned to us, and we will certainly honor all of that. Thank you, sir.
Taylor?
Thank you, Your Honor. There are a few issues that I wanted to make the court aware of as the court decides on the scheduling order. We want the court to know that our team has been working towards the June of 2025 trial date that had been issued by Judge in the case. But in candor to the court, I need to let the court know some issues that have come up that we face that causes me concern. First, I think the court's probably aware of the vast amount of discovery that's been exchanged in the case by reviewing the record. But since August, we have received about 398 gigabytes of new information, and I can tell the court that nobody on the team has read every bit of that yet. So there's a vast amount of discovery to continue to go through, and I wanted the court to be aware of that. The second thing is that during the course of this case, we had an expert that we were working with, and that expert passed away. We have been able to refill that role to have a new expert to do the work that that expert was hired to do, but we are not progressed to the point that I'd hope to be through no fault of the new expert. The court should be aware of that as well. And last, as the court is very well aware, the system of delivering public defense is changing next week. As appointed counsel in the case, I do not have a contract yet. Nobody on my team is under contract for this case. I'm concerned about what that means, and I thought the court should be aware. Further, we have been able to access funding to help us prepare this case through Idaho Criminal Rule 12.2. At the current time, we're working with about 25 experts and investigators to prepare the case. I don't know if 12.2 will continue to be the way to get funding for those experts and investigators, or if that's changing. And I thought the court should know those things. Thank you.
Thank you. So I am hopeful that Mr. Fredrickson will ensure that a contract is available for you and your team next week. I have no control over that, of course, other than to, as it relates to who I permit to withdraw from this case or not withdraw from this case. As to 12.2 funding, my understanding is, and I've had a discussion with Judge Munson, who has been serving, as I understand it, as what we refer to as the money judge. I've asked him to remain in that capacity at least through the transition to the state public defense system in next week on October 1. My understanding is, and perhaps I will come to find out something different, but that once it goes to that system 12.2 as it relates to public defense funded attorneys on contract seeking 12.2 funding, that's no longer a thing, that would come through the state public defense budget, essentially. I guess we'll find out if that becomes a problem down the road, but that's my understanding, because that whole system that 12.2 is based upon is coming to an end. So given your statement about the trial date, my proposal to move this case forward into May is probably not going to land well with you, but that's what I wanted to talk about, is the timing of the trial. I'm concerned with a trial as currently set for a number of reasons, but first I want to find out from you, as you sit here today, what that trial looks like in terms of the number of weeks of trial. starting from after a jury is selected through the end of the evidence and before any potential sentencing phase. So what are your estimates of that?
Your Honor, I think it would be a fair estimate based on what we know at this point to have a month and a half or perhaps a bit more just for the evidence for the guilt phase of the trial. I say that knowing,
Is that just your evidence or does that include defense evidence?
well, I was just getting ready to say, I say that understanding or acknowledging that Ms. Taylor has estimated 2 to 3 months total. I do not know. We do not know what the defense has in mind for their case right now. So all I can speak to is what we anticipate for ourselves. But I would think the state's evidence in chief should be able to come in a month and a half or so.
Okay. Ms. Taylor?
Your Honor, we estimate 4 weeks for the defense portion of the trial case.
Of the guilt phase?
Yes, Your Honor.
So 10 weeks. In terms of if there is a penalty phase, should the defendant be convicted of one of the statutory qualifying offenses, how long do we estimate the penalty phase being?
You're right. From the state's perspective, I believe we're going to be relying heavily on the evidence that's introduced during the guilt phase and the additional evidence that would be brought in, unless there's something we learned from the defense about their experts, it is probably would take no more than a week.
Taylor?
Your Honor, I would estimate 2 weeks for that part of any trial,
That's
for our evidence.
for your evidence.
Yes.
Okay. So my concern, because this trial is currently set to begin June 2nd and end approximately August 31st, is having it set to run the entire course of the summer, I think we will find to be difficult on jurors in particular. Jurors who may have children who are out of school in terms of being able to spend time, go on vacations with them, et cetera. That's one concern. The second concern is with school that typically starts in mid to late August, and jurors or parents who may have kids going off to school, the timing of that through August. And that's my primary concern about that time frame. I had 2 proposals. One was to start the trial in the evidence portion of the trial the first week of May. And the other would be to start the evidence in early September. And I'd like your thoughts on those. I'm not saying I'm have or necessarily will vacate the June trial date, but I want to look at alternatives here because I am concerned about that spread that takes the entirety of the summer.
And we hear you, Your Honor. By way of history, the summer, we advocated for that in Latah County because the courthouse is right across from the high school and the summer would have the students gone. If we were looking at the other 2 choices, we would propose May.
Taylor?
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I would have to advocate for September at this point, based on the 3 reasons that I gave the court before.
So I'm not going to worry about the public defense change because I think that will take care of itself. The one thing that you brought up the most, I mean, I understand there's a lot of evidence, but May is not tomorrow. May is many months away. So the one that concerns me that you brought up is your expert. I'm not asking you necessarily to give away any secrets prematurely that you may have in terms of defense strategy, but can you help me understand this expert if you're able to, and what their role is and what the prospects are?
Your Honor, it's really difficult to tell you much about the expert without giving away a lot. I can tell you that this is a very necessary expert for us to have on board. We've been able to find somebody to fill the role. I'm confident in the person that will fill the role. There just hasn't been enough time to get the work accomplished yet. I know that that doesn't tell the court a whole lot more than what I said before, but I really feel that that would disclose too much for me to say more. I could do so on an ex parte basis or with Judge Monson, our resource judge, but not in a public setting.
I understand. Do you anticipate being able to fulfill your obligations for your current expert disclosure deadline that was set by Judge?
No, not with a lot of confidence. I think that the work is going to take longer than to meet that deadline. I think if we met that deadline, I would have additional information that I would want to be able to present. And maybe I would have been stopped from that with that deadline.
So I don't have a motion to extend that date, obviously, and with the changes that occurred, I understand why you didn't file one out of the box, but the deadline, I think, is January 6th, something like that, if I'm not mistaken, for experts on the defense side.
That's one of our deadlines, Your Honor, yes.
I guess the state have anything to say in response?
Not knowing the details of the challenges Ms. Taylor and her team are facing, I don't really know how to respond further, Your Honor.
What do you think is a realistic deadline for you to be able to disclose your experts for everything? I'm assuming it was January, all save that one expert. But with respect to the expert you had to replace, when do you think you could disclose consistent with the scheduling order?
Other than the expert that had to be replaced, Your Honor, there were two separate deadlines. One was for trial experts and one was for mitigation experts. And I believe that I can make that deadline other than that one expert.
Can you tell me if the one expert is a mitigation or a trial expert?
A mitigation expert, Your Honor.
And what do you think you need for that mitigation expert in terms of a deadline? Compared to that mitigation deadline was,
I believe it was March. I don't recall the exact date.
yeah, so that's a long time from now. So I have a lot of questions, but I'm hesitant to ask you the questions because I'm sure you're not in a position to answer them currently, given the forum. So, but March is a long time from now.
Your Honor, the time passes very rapidly, and I appreciate the court not asking questions I can't answer. I think if I had an end of April deadline for that one witness, I think we could make that deadline.
So understanding this is a mitigation expert, Thompson, how concerned are you about getting that disclosure closer to trial?
Closer to trial is somewhat relative. The end of April sounds like it would be on the eve of trial from the date the court is proposing. I think that would be, I'm not sure that would be realistic. And again, I'm not in a position to second guess
Sure.
what Ms. Taylor and her team are representing to the court. She had told us some time back that one of her experts had some health issues, and I think that she did tell us that that person had passed away and they were working on a replacement. If we're looking at a mitigation disclosure at the end of April, I don't know that we could be ready with all the final trial preparation for a May trial. I hate to say that, I feel like
Sure.
I'm cutting my own throat in a sense, but that's realistic.
Well, I can do one of two things. I can set a separate hearing ex parte to explore this further, but I frankly don't know how far that's going to get me. I mean, I can set a date, and my experience tells me that date will be complied with regardless, right? 24 hours in a day, but if you use enough of those hours, enough days in a row, you get it done if you have to. At the same time, I don't want to put unrealistic deadlines. And so I can do that. I can have an ex parte hearing, or we can go ahead and reserve September. I will throw it to you, Mr. Thompson, is what you want, what you would advocate for.
Could I have just a moment? Your Honor, we would trust the court to do the ex parte hearing, see what's there and make the best decision and tell us what the expectations are.
Well, do you want to do that later today, or you want to do it tomorrow? You need more time? You want to come back next week?
Your Honor, I had planned to leave town today. I have other case-related obligations tomorrow. I could do it as soon as this hearing's over if the court has time, or I can come back next week at the court's convenience.
I think we'll probably be finished in here by 3 if we were to do it immediately after. Are you comfortable with that? Does that give you enough time to get to the airport?
Yes, I believe it will, Your Honor.
All right. Well, we'll give that a shot. All right. If I move this one way or the other, I will adjust the various deadlines that are in here. I won't adjust the next deadline that you have, understanding that you may be already committed to it, which I think is the motions related to the defense's motion regarding the death penalty, if I'm not mistaken. Is that the next set of hearings that we have?
Those are now scheduled.
I believe that our briefs are due the 10th of next month with a hearing later this fall and a reply brief deadline for the defense. And we are on track to meet those deadlines, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, you were saying, counsel.
Your Honor, I'm guessing the court has received our motions already. I believe we were set for November the 7th.
I think the state's deadline for discovery has passed. Has the state complied with its discovery obligations, including those outlined in judge's last order and other orders?
We have, Your Honor, and in fact, Ms. Jennings prepared a lengthy summary of all the discovery that was filed with the Latah County Court when our discovery deadline hit. It is lengthy, but there's a lot of discovery.
Sure.
We recognize
How
that
much of the, would you say 300 gigabytes?
398 since August 13th.
How much of that is new information?
Ms. Jennings could speak to that.
Ms. Jennings, can you speak to that?
Your Honor, the defense was given, and I'm not sure if this is what they're referencing, but they were given a copy of the OneDrive from the FBI. Most of that was cumulative discovery that they had already received in another fashion. I'm sure there were portions of it that was new information. I've not calculated how much of that was new. So I can only rely on Ms. Taylor's, what she's represented to the court on that.
Well, I don't think she knows because it doesn't sound like she's looked at it yet.
Not all of it, Judge.
All right. Well, I will talk when we're finished here with Ms. Taylor without the state present in a closed hearing. What else do we need to talk about today, or do you want to talk about today?
Nothing comes to mind right now, Judge. I know that there will be plenty of opportunity for other discussions. As far as your meeting with defense ex parte, do you want the state for any reason to stay around, or would you like us to get on the road back to Moscow?
Are you flying or driving?
Driving.
Okay. Well, why don't you hang around just in case we need to, if I'm able to make a decision based on that, I can inform you what that is at least.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Anything further, other than your your motions regarding the death penalty? Do you have any outstanding motions and the motion as it relates to Mr. Kohberger's attire?
Your Honor, there's no outstanding motions right now. I do anticipate filing several motions in the motion to compel deadline. As far as discovery goes, I anticipate there may be some follow-up motions. I, of course, will first try to speak with the prosecutor to resolve those.
I think you will find I'm probably more inclined to hear things more quickly than you're perhaps accustomed to in this case. So just be aware of that. It'd probably be more along the usual, 14-day timeline with respect to motions. If there's a lot that needs to be done with respect to them, we can talk about that. But okay.
On that point, Your Honor, as you can see, they're a multifaceted team. And on motions, we try to assign them to specific attorneys. On various motions, would it be acceptable to the court for those attorneys who are not actively arguing the motions to be able to participate remotely? Or would you like us to be present? We're happy to do either.
I'm fine with that. I just prefer those that are going to be arguing to be here, just because it makes it easier to have that dialogue. So
Okay, thank you.
the others, if they want to appear remotely, that's fine.
Thank you.
And same for defense as well, depending on what defense wants to do. Okay. All right. Then if there's nothing else this morning or this afternoon, I guess we will be adjourned and have a discussion in a few minutes. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Back in a few minutes once the courtroom is cleared.
All right, so there we got it, you guys. This judge does seem they're going to have an ex parte hearing, so it's not going to be streamed. It's not going to be live. He did tell the prosecution to stick around for a bit so he could just relay whatever, if he does come to a decision right away, what that will be. We'll see that in the court documents. They won't be coming back on a live stream. So good news. This judge seems to want to move this case along. He wants it moved up to May. Let's hope it doesn't go out to September, because we know that this is Anne's MO. She just keeps wanting to push it out, push it out, push it out, push it out, right? So hopefully they do go with that May 2025 date, which would make a lot more sense. So we do still have Bill Thompson and Ashley Jennings on the case. Good. No jail. He's got to go in jail clothes. The judge is saying it's a security issue. That's exactly what I thought he was going to say. Like I said, I felt Judge John Judge was like just whatever Anne wanted, Anne got. This judge doesn't seem like he's going to be giving Anne, just giving her what she wants. It's not his right to be able to have street clothes during these motions hearings and stuff like that. That doesn't violate any of his rights whatsoever. Now, come trial and everything, yes, he has a right to be in street clothes, but for all these hearings, no. Ann Taylor is treating him like he's a billionaire. It's like she wants all this more money, like he's a millionaire and he's paying for his own defense. No, I've never seen somebody get so much funding for a case, even a death penalty case, like Ann Taylor's getting. And I think it's ridiculous. And I think this judge is going to put some kind of halt on that. Like, he's not paying for his own defense. He's not a millionaire, but he wants to have a dream team like he is. Thank you, Summer Dawn, for being here almost a year, 11 months. Thank you. Thank you. Smiling is Contagious says, I hope Anne is not going to be like John Pryor and all those motions over and over. Oh, this is exactly what she has been doing. And now she just made it clear again. She's got tons more motions she's going to be filing. And this is her MO. Stop filing unnecessary motions and get to work on your case. Then you wouldn't be falling so far behind. Now, Bill Thompson did make a good point here, is that it's been a couple months that Anne had told him that this expert witness was ill and passed away. So she's had a couple months already. She's got another at least 8 months to get this witness up to speed, this expert witness. There is no reason why that expert is going to be an expert on one part of the defense's evidence, right? Like GPS, just hypothetically, GPS. They've 8 months is more than enough time to get up to speed on that. So this is just her trying to push things out again. It seems to me like the judge doesn't want to hear it, but I wish Bill Thompson would have fought a little harder for the May 2025. I'm hoping that that's when the trial date is going to be set. So far, the prosecution is saying that they need a month and a half to present their case, and that's just their verdict case. Defense needs 4 weeks, which is a month. And then for the penalty phase, the prosecution needs a week. And funny enough, the defense is saying they need 2 weeks. So they're going to have this ex parte hearing, which means the only people that are going to be there is the defense and the judge. The prosecution's not allowed to sit in on that, hence why it's called an ex parte. So the judge is going to hear Ann Taylor's argument, and he's going to, if Bill Thompson is still around, probably bring that back to Bill Thompson and say, hey, what can we do? Now, I already see what Ann Taylor's trying to do with this poor me. They did give her all this information again, so she can stop saying she doesn't have all the information. You know what? Ashley Jennings took a lot of time to itemize everything and show them where it is. And I would say probably 90% of that they've already had for the last 2 years. So I kind of wish Bill Thompson or Ashley would have said something along those lines, that there is a little bit of new information, but 90% of it has already been disclosed to them, right? Darren Des Dauntly Detours, thanks for your coverage, sis. You're welcome. And thank you for being a member for 42 months. Almost 4 years. Amazing. You are amazing. Summer Dawn says, been a member longer than that. This is just my 11-month stretch without having to cancel memberships. There you go. Yeah, I remember you've been here pretty much since the beginning too, Summer. So that's a long time. And I'm so appreciative of all my subscribers, especially, sticking around and sticking with us. And there hasn't been a lot happening in the true crime community as of late, so hence why there hasn't been a lot of videos. But I do want to look into that judge one where the judge was shot and killed by the bailiff or sheriff. I've just been trying to juggle. There's some issues that come up with my Jeep that were supposed to be fixed before I took possession of it that I have found that they didn't do. So I'm fighting with them about that. Therapy, they've got me going to therapy to try and prolong surgery on my back. So I've been dealing with a lot, but I am going to do that read as you guys have asked. Let me just see. There's going to be things that are streamed. And as of right now, he is keeping the gag order, but I'm sure that he is going to go through some of those documents to see if they cannot be released. I feel like this judge is an open book. Like, he knows that it should be transparent, right? So I won't be surprised if he does release some of those seals on some of the information. Cindy says, if I was Bryan, I would be pissed sitting in jail all this time and he keeps wanting it longer. Well, when you got nothing, you know, if he's innocent, I'd be pissed. Yeah, I would be screaming from the rooftops and wanting my trial ASAP. I would have not given up my speedy trial rights, because you just gave the prosecution longer to find more evidence and get more, right? So if I was innocent, no, you take me to court with what you got right now. I don't give a crap if you don't have all the evidence you need. You got me arrested. You got me here. I want my trial within 6 months. You got a better chance there of, you know, them not having all of the evidence that they would have letting it go on for 2 years, right? Smiling is contagious says, I hope Anne is not going to be like John Pryor, all these motions. Yeah, she's already doing that. So I feel he's guilty if he doesn't care. Yeah. So that's it for today, you guys. I want to thank you guys all. Don't forget Sundays. If you guys want to have your very own mini read, Sundays, 1 p.m. Eastern, right here. We do live reads for you guys. So if you would like a mini read or ask a question that you want answered, we start at 1 o'clock. We usually go till about 2:33, and that is Eastern time. So if you do want to join us, please join us on Sundays, and I would be more than happy to do your read for you. Butterfly Dana says, 2020, been here listening to Willow and have how she's covered the Morphe case. You just don't catch a lot of lives. Yes, Butterfly Dana, you're an OG also. And Nana too. Thank you. Thank you, Nana. And you too have a blessed weekend. I'm kind of worried about our mod Missy. She is in the line of fire with this hurricane. She does live in Tallahassee. So I'm worried about her. So I do want to message her shortly and find out what's going on. Oh my God, Willow, my contractor was here and I missed the whole thing. You'll be able to scroll back, Carol. You're very welcome, K-Mitch. Norma, too, you're going to have to scroll back, hon. It wasn't a very long hearing, but there are some good bombshells in there. So follow along. And let me just make sure that I've got customization. Live chat replay is on, so you will be able to follow along once YouTube has processed the video. The live chat will be on. Okay, Carol. Yes, everyone have a blessed day and stay safe. Hug your loved ones. Smiley is contagious. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Norma too, watching the replay. Replay crew. Yay! Love the replay crew too. I was speaking to her last night, so she does have my personal phone number. I am really, really concerned about her. So she's under mandatory evacuation. So Shai says they're making me work. Butterfly Dana says, I like this new judge that is doing the Kohberger case, and Taylor won't get her way like with the other judge. She's already trying. She's batting her eyes and that's smiling, and she's trying. So, okay, you guys, we're going to wrap it up, and I'm going to end it like I always do. Thank you, mods, for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you to everybody here watching with us. I appreciate you guys and love you guys to the moon and back. I'm going to end it like I always do. Please take care of yourselves. Please stay safe. Always be aware of your surrounding. I love you guys to the moon and back. We'll see you on Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern for live mini reads for you guys. Bye-bye for now.